Hi guys, it's again Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Cook Up My Canal. So today we're going to cook another dish. The dish I'm going to cook today, the leaf is called crane crane. I'm going to put a picture of the leaf so you guys can see. It's also in the vegetable family. So I've already prepared everything that I'm going to use. The only thing I need to cut the vegetables, the onions, the pepper, and the boss eye. I need to cut those, but I've already cooked the meat. So this is the leaf. If you're from Sierra Leone or West Africa, you may know this leaf, but we all have different name of calling it. So I've already cut everything. So that is the leaf. You can buy the leaf fresh one in at the shop, or you can buy the one that's they have already cut and for you. So that's what I did. I bought the one that they have already cut for me because when you have vegetable leaves you can't have it long standing in the store. So the meat is already cooked. I've already fried the fish. So this is how I like to cook. I like to get everything ready, so when I'm cooking it makes cooking easy, so that I start cook around like 5:30, 15 minutes after 5. So by the time you say 6 o'clock, the dinner is ready and ready to eat. So that's how I cook. I like to prepare everything. So now we're about to cook. I've shown you guys everything. I've cut everything into slides, and now it's time to start cooking. I'm going to take my red palm oil. I'm going to first heat it in the pan. Make sure the palm oil is warm. When you're cooking with red palm oil, you have to make sure you open the windows. You put the afzuigkap on the thing for the ventilator for the cooking thing. I don't know the English word, but you put it on or you open the windows, because if not that, your alarm will go off, especially if you have fire alarm in your house. I have my fire alarm is right close to the kitchen door, so it's normal. Sometimes it do go off, but I try to open the doors, and so everything, the heat can go outside. So now we're going to just leave. I'm trying to like melt everything down so that the palm oil can melt. Leave it to melt down a little bit. I love cooking African dish. I'm a food lover, so I love to eat. So I really love to eat, and it's so easy when you prepare everything. You cut everything. Everything is slide into piece. Everything is ready. It's just put and cook, put and cook. It is so easy. So now we're just gonna leave that to warm up the oil. You guys can see the oil is warming up. It's warming up. I like to warm the oil up. I like to fry the vegetables. I know people, but some people don't cook like this. Everybody have their own way of cooking it. Some people cook crane leaf differently, but this is how I cook it, and I just like it this way. I just like I don't like to add water in when I'm cooking food. I don't actually put water. It depends on the dish. I don't like to put water because I feel like the vegetables, the crane leaf itself, the onions, the paprika, everything is made of water. It's like 90% water. So there's no need to add water in it, or else you're going to take for a very long time for the water to get dry. So now that the palm oil is warm, I'm going to add my onions. I'm going to leave that to fry, and then I'm just going to add the rest of the vegetables to fry together. Leave that first for a couple of minutes, just few minutes, let it fry. And then now it's time to add the paprika. I always put the onions, the tomato last, because the tomato is full of water. So I put it at the end. But the paprika, the boss eye, and all the kind of onions left, I put everything to fry with the onions, because I just like when it's fried and cooked. It tastes really good. So after doing that, I'm just gonna put everything. The tomato is gonna be at the end, because the tomato have a lot of water. Tomato have so much water, but that's the reason why I can't stand putting tomato in the freezer, cutting it and put it in the freezer, because you're gonna add more water, because I just like everything fresh. I love fresh vegetables, to be honest, and everything I cook is organic. I normally get my stuff from the organic store, just because I have allergic reaction to certain things. So yeah, now as you guys can see, I love that colorfulness that you see on the pan. You see the green, you see the yellow, you see the pink. I love that. I just love to see that. So now I'm gonna leave everything to steam for a few minutes, and I'm gonna take that red Madame Chinette pepper. If you live in Holland, we call it Madame Chanel, but in Africa, we call it like the red hot pepper. That pepper is very hot. As you guys can see, I just take a little bit. I'm going to chop it into sliced pieces because I can't put all that in the pan, or else nobody will eat this food. And the kids can't eat a lot of pepper, so I always try to put a little bit. So yeah, now it's time to mix this food and add the rest of the ingredients. Like, yo, so you guys can see everything is fried, and sometimes the palm oil may look a lot, but after frying the vegetables, they kind of suck in the palm oil, so it's good, you know. So now I'm going to add my season. I'm going to add this Maggi block. As you guys know, I don't really do a lot of salt because I just don't like a lot of salt in the food. So I just put my Maggi block. I put salt also, but I don't put like a lot of salt. So that's the reason why I never really show you guys a measurement of the salt. So now I'm going to add that hot pepper, the spicy pepper, just a little bit, you know. I wanted to take more, but I feel like let me just put a little bit for now, and then if I need a little bit more, I'll add, instead of putting a whole lot. And then, because when you put a whole lot, you can't actually remove it, you know. You can't remove it because the spice is going to be there. It's going to be hot and hot and hot. So now it's time to add the cooked meat so that the meat can also mix with the pepper and everything. I'm not going to use the water of the meat today because the crinkle itself is like 90% of water. It's a vegetable leaf. It's just like spinach. It's 90% of water, so I don't really need to add. And also the one I got was the one from the freezer, from the deep freeze. It's not the fresh leaf. So it's the fresh leaf, but they wash it and they cut it into pieces, into slices. So if it was a fresh leaf, I would just like put the water of the meat, but because the leaf was in the freezer and it's already like a lot of ice in it, so I didn't find it necessary to put water into it. So now I'm going to add the tomato and then let everything cook, and then add the spice, add some of the crane leaf. Now we're just going to add the tomato, mix everything together, let it steam. When you prepare everything, when you have cooked the meat, fry the fish, do all those kind of things, like you don't really need to add a lot of stuff, because you don't really need to do a lot of stuff, and you don't also need to leave it to cook for a super long time. That's the reason why I like to cook the meats apart, so that the meat can cook and finish very good, so that I don't need to leave the vegetables to cook for a very long time. Because I feel like sometimes when you leave the vegetable to cook for a very long time, like it becomes so, I don't know, it doesn't really taste good in my mouth. I don't really like it. I like the vegetable to cook, but not like cook all the way like somebody who does not have teeth to chew, you know. So now we see, leave it to steam. Everything is just like boiled in. I make sure I dull the gas. As I'm cooking, I'm cleaning like the wall, because palm oil, OMG, palm oil always mess my kitchen whenever I'm cooking, especially on the white wall and the stove. It always get palm oil, but I try to clean as I'm cooking, because when I'm done cooking, my stomach is full. Lord knows that I don't have energy to stand up and come and clean again. So as I'm cooking, I'm cleaning. If there are pans that they cannot, because I have a dishwasher, thank God. If there are some place who cannot enter the dishwasher, I'll wash it with my hands immediately before I go to sit down and eat. Because if I sit down and eat, don't ask me to get up to do any other thing else, because I just want to sit down and let the food digest a little bit. And I'm also a very slow eater. I can take 30 minutes to 1 hour to just eat a meal. That's how slow I am. I'll be eating, I'll be talking, I'll be eating, listening to motivational speak or watching movie. That is just how, or else if I can't just sit down, me and the food, eating and doing nothing, I can't. I need to like watch something that distract my mind so that I can eat the food. That's how I've been eating for a very long time. So that's just how I eat. I'm a very slow eater. I'm a very, very slow person when it comes to eating. The only food I eat very quickly is fufu, because I know when the fufu get really, really cold, I don't really like it. So I like to eat fufu when it's hot. So now I'm going to add a little bit of spice. I'm going to add the rest of the seasoning because I have like two season. I add one in the beginning. Now I'm going to add this one. As you guys can see, I didn't add any water into the food, but you guys can see the water that the food had on its own. Yeah? This is just the vegetable water. I didn't add anything, so it's crazy. So you can imagine if you go and add something on top of this one, what you're going to have. If you go and add water on top of that one, you have to wait for that thing to dry a lot. Because I remember when I was little girl, when some aunties used to cook, they'll be like, the water is not yet dry. I was like, how long the water going to take to dry? So, and my mom said, this is why I don't like to cook and put water in the food, because when you put water, you have to wait for the water to get dry, and the food will cook. You lost all the vitamins in the food. So for me, that's how I'm like, okay, you know what, I don't want to add any water. So that's how I'm cooking from day one. I cook, I don't really put water if it's not necessary. The only food I cook, I put water is when I'm cooking a dish called named cassava leaf. Hopefully I'll come very soon and show you guys how I cook that dish. But that one, even when I cook, when I use water, I use the water that I use for the meat. That is what I will use to cook that dish, and so that's what I will use to cook the dish. I always cook the meat as apart, and then I'll use the water of the meat. If I need to use any water, I will use the water of the meat to cook with the food. And if I don't need water, I'll just like throw the water away. Or maybe if I'm cooking the next day, I'm cooking a meat the next day, I will just clean up that meat and then use that water to boil the meat again and let it stand for the next day. Sometimes I do cook every day, and sometimes I do cook every other day. It all depends on how fast the food is finished, because in my house we eat a lot. Like I eat a lot, the kids eat. I love food, I'm a food lover, so it all depends on how we all love the food. So yeah, so now what I'm just like, I'm trying to like put some rice so that the rice can cook and every other thing else. Sorry guys, I thought I lost the footage. I lost the part where I was putting the crane leaf. I look on my phone, I can't find it. I lost that part. I'm really sorry. But yeah, so now the only thing what was needed was just to add the crane leaf. I've added the leaf, and now everything is cooking. I'm sorry guys, I can't remember. I'm like, oh, I can't find that footage where I add the crane leaf. So now I'm going to add the fish. The fish was not necessary, but I'm a fish lover. I love to eat fish. So whenever I'm cooking like dish like this, either I'm cooking like any kind of vegetable things, I like to add if just one or two fish for myself. I just like it. I just like fish. It's just like even though I have meat, I have cow foods, cow belly, everything in that, but I add fish to the dry fish. But I just like to have that fresh fish. It just tastes good. So now, as you guys can see, I have the rice cooking. Now I've added the fish. I'm just going to let that cook for like few minutes. Also, I'm gonna let the rice to cook because I'm gonna eat it with rice. You can eat this with rice, with fufu, with anything of your choice. But whenever I say you can eat this with fufu, people are like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can eat it with fufu." But as you guys can see, everything is finished now. I've make sure I clean everywhere. Everywhere is clean. You guys can see the dish is finished. It's looking really nice. You guys can see there's not a lot of water in it, so it doesn't need to cook forever. Few minutes, it's okay, because the crane leaf is a vegetable leaf. You don't need to cook it for like more than 5 minutes. It's cooked very easily. It's a vegetable leaf. It's a very soft leaf. It's just like spinach, very soft. You don't need to cook it for a very long time. So everything is ready now. I hope you all like this video. Please tell me, what do you guys think of this cooking? I'll definitely be back to show you guys how I cook this food again. Maybe I'll try to get the fresh leaf. I'm sorry I didn't show the part where I add the meat, the crane, but this is how everything turned out. It looks really delicious, and it tastes absolutely delicious. Hope you all like this video. If you guys have any question, leave a comment down in the comment box, and I'll see you guys on my next video. This is again Amy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy my dish. If you guys have any other dish that you guys want me to cook for you guys or anything, just let me know in the comment box, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Enjoy and have a beautiful day.